Welcome to the Manosphere Paradigm, the channel where we learn to level up in health, wealth, relationships, and hobbies. I want you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell so that you can be informed of content as I drop it on this channel on a weekly basis. I want to welcome you back to and introduce you to my new setup. It is something that I've put together to keep the channel informative, entertaining, and I'd like to just start it off by giving a clap and giving a cheer. We are working over here at the Manosphere Paradigm, and all I'm doing, like I said, is to create content for you guys that is informative, that's going to help you, and basically going to grow the Manosphere even further. So today's topic is going to be men must be battle tested. That is what I'm going to be talking about. And if I'm talking about men being battle tested, I'm going to refer to this is Sparta. In 2020, this is going to be the year which is going to define us. We have gone through 2021 and all the drama that has gone along with it. We've seen the so-called manosphere completely tear itself apart, where there is some of us that is in the manosphere. They are not actually there to build men and to grow men. They're there to get their money up, to capitalize on the drama and make sure they make enough hit pieces so that they can get their dollar. You know what? It is what it is. You want to do that, go for it. But when it comes to this channel and the motivation behind it for me, it was to become part of the conversation, give my viewpoint on it as to how I see things and how I am experiencing and overall seeing how things are happening, and also again to grow men. I myself am a guy that is growing. I'm a man that is learning, constantly learning, and whatever you can learn on this channel, apply it to you to better you. Kudos. Why? Because we are all here to stand together like these guys in unison and work together. Now, if you are this guy who is the simp, the guy that's going to white knight, the guy that's gonna jump in and protect the woman, no matter the cost, they're going to kick other men down so that they can be in with a woman, whatever the case may be. Whatever you're going to do to put another man down so that you can be higher, if you're this dude, you are definitely not part of the manosphere. So in 2022, I'm going to say, we know these dudes they live among us and they will never go away. They're the cleanup men. They'll always be there to take the scraps and to do what they feel they need to do because that's their moral imperative, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, do what you want to do. But if you want to be one of these guys that's going to stand together in 2022, that's what I want to encourage the manosphere in 2022, to band together, to work together more, do more collaborations, talk about pertinent topics that is up and coming, things that's happening within your country, what that's happening around the world, trends that is forcing men to adhere to certain things. We know about that wonderful virus that has caused havoc in the world over the last 2 years, how legislature, how rules are being put together, how governments are operating to put us all in this one box. As men, we have to band together, we have to stand together, and we have to grow up here in 2022 to be able to not succumb to a lot of this nonsense and to stand our ground. We're only going to be able to do that if we support each other, and we uplift each other, and we basically promote each other. That is the way that we're going to last, and no man is an island. I like what Kevin Samuel says, that you need to be part of a group, that men that you can be accountable to, that you bring value to, and the others bring value to you as well, so that you guys can lift each other up, open up opportunities for each other, and grow together. So that is just what I wanted to say. In 2022, we need to band together, stand together. Sometimes you stand on your own, you have to fight your battles. It is what it is. But as best you can, if you see another man down, it's not for you to go over there and kick him any further. So, you know what? It is what it is. But you have a decision in 2022 to either be a man or be this guy. It's your choice. You know, this movie is iconic when it comes to having to go into enemy territory and basically working together with other men and standing your ground. Now, when it comes to 300, if you followed the movie, you can see these guys were pretty chiseled in the way they make sure their physique is up to scratch, and the way they look and the way they are strong enough to be able to battle on something came naturally for them to work on. But apart from that, as you can see in the bottom part of the picture, is the fact that these guys was extremely good at working together and fighting in unison. And that is one of the things that I have seen coming from 2021 and into 2022. I'm going to refer to two guys. They have become synonymous as to being the villains within the manosphere. But you know what? Sometimes you have to be unpopular, and you have to be saying, if you say something that people don't like and gets people thinking, that is a good thing, because in today's society, we are all programmed to agree with each other, not to cause waves, not to stand up for what we believe in, and we are just put into this whole type of con job, I would say, when it comes to just following the norm and not wanting to stand out. It is a risk to stand out, but yeah, not to go on too much. I'm going to go into the two guys that has become synonymous with the RP awareness, and the way they go about it is none other than Fresh and Fit. These guys, I am so impressed with them in the way they've been conducting themselves and how they've grown. If you don't like them, it's either you love them or you hate them. It is what it is. These are young guys, they're 29, 31, somewhere there in the 30s, early 30s. And two of them has created a podcast where they've opened up the conversation and dialogue. A lot of podcasts has grown from their exposure that they receive, and when it comes to just the content in the way they presented with having the girls on there, it has just catapulted them into stardom within these YouTube streets. A lot of times they've created a lot of drama, and people that has created content about them, hit jobs, whatever the case may be. Like I said, you either hate them or you love them. It's up to you. Well, check out the content before you judge these guys. And for me, all I'm wanting to do is, in this video, I want to point out the fact that these guys have grown a hell of a lot, and the reason I'm tying this to men must be battle tested is the fact that if we go back to August, where this entire drama happened with Abba and Preach, it was a huge thing. Everyone was creating content off it. Everyone was basically building their careers off this drama. But since then, it's been a back and forth. These guys have focused on, and their main tag is, when they hate, we create, and that is a philosophy that I am very much attuned to, and I'm definitely saying to myself, you know what? Everyone else is not going to be happy with what you have to say. You just have to get to the point of saying to yourself, I'm going to do what I believe is the right thing, and I'm going to talk and open up certain discussions about things that people are comfortable about, and also what people are triggered about. So they have subsequently, over at least the beginning of this year, they have gone onto other podcasts, and they have technically gone onto enemy territory, going on there, talking to other guys that is completely against their view and the way they conduct themselves. And they went onto the Flagrant 2 podcast, and the dude with the white hoodie, Akash, he was very critical of them. He was very disrespectful in the way he told them they were childish, they need to grow with their audience. You can go check out the Flagrant 2, go check out their podcast. I enjoy Andrew Such. I like his humor, I like his comedy. Go check them out and go check out this podcast and this interview that they did with Fresh and Fit. With what happened back in August with Fresh and Fit, they were, when the video of Abba and Preach surfaced, they went in hard, went in strong, and they basically, especially Fit, went in there, Myron, blasted them, became emotional, and basically kind of like showed his hand. And what has happened is, at the end of the day, everyone got onto them. They lost a lot of subscribers. They've gained them back, but at the time it was a huge impact to their channel. They did make a hell of a lot of money though. But when it came to the channel and the PR of their channel, it was a bit dented, but they recovered quite well. So when it came to the way Fresh and Fit conducted themselves and the way they went about things back in August compared to now being on this podcast, because the way these guys, especially like I said, Akash, and then there's another guy, Alex, the black guy on the left with the black hoodie, he was also very disrespectful in, you guys don't understand, you guys are whack, blah blah blah, it is what it is. Now, telling a guy straight to his face and insulting someone without basically understanding where they're coming from and trying to debate their points based on what they are saying and going into emotion clearly shows the type of guy that you are. And in our language, when it comes to the RPO and the manosphere, it's called the blue pill guy. It's a beta male. We all know those terms. It is guys that basically, in Alex's case, that women are this amazing thing, and he pedestalizes them. This whole discussion was about black women in the way they conduct themselves, and like I said, if you go check it out, but he was not happy in the way Fresh and Fit did a video and some reactions to it, and he got pissed off, and he's like, the black queens, like Kevin Samuels always says, the black queen, or your what is it, your Coco, what was Kevin C. Moss and Moss Gold, whatever the crap that Kevin Samuels talks. But Alex was not having it, and he was insulting Fresh and Fit on the podcast. And what I liked about Fresh and Fit's reaction, they were cool, they were calm, they were stoic, they accepted the criticism and told the guy, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I don't blame you, it is what it is. And they just went on with the discussion. Whenever these guys, Akash number one, he kept on coming, kept on trying to trigger them so that he can create some type of viral moment for whatever reason. But he was this guy wanting to tell them, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. Who are you to say this, that, and the other? This coming from a guy that has had one girlfriend, and that's the one he married. You know what? That's the way you went about it, and that's how you did it. That's cool. But don't come across as someone that has all this knowledge and experience about the dating world when you've never dated anyone. So this is the way this guy went about it, and this interview was just crazy in the way they talked to these two Fresh and Fit. And the next one, Brittney, Renner and DJ Akademiks. Again, this was a very fiery interview. It's an interview that everyone was anticipating. We all wanted to see what was going to happen, how things going down, and as expected, Brittney Renner went in there completely with emotion and tried to be as complete, how would I say it? You don't want to overuse the word, but disingenuous AF, because she played dumb the entire interview as to she can't understand how this, that, and the other. She wants to deal with 1% guy. She wants to deal with the guys that is next level, the guys that is got all the options, and she wants to be the one that says, how can I not have someone that is faithful to me, monogamous with me? But she wants to have the top 1% guys. These guys have all the options, all the resources, and she thinks that her Punani is that special. She's special enough for them to forego all their options just for her, because somehow she is this wonderful mystical being. I will give her. I'll definitely give her this one. I will give her that one. That's what I'm gonna give her, because the end of the day, that was just crazy that she would think that way. But this is exactly how modern women think, that they are so special and they can turn around these guys that they want, these modern 1% guys. But I want to come back to the topic at hand, and that is that Fresh and Fit handled himself, especially Fit. Myron, he held his own, he sat back and just gave her back logic, gave her back the facts, and afterwards she actually changed her demeanor and agreed with Myron, not wanting to overtly show it off, but she actually at the end of the day just kind of like, how can I say, submitted to his frame, which is very impressive compared to, like I said, where he came from. August, how long, what was that? Was it 5-6 months ago? So these guys, they have grown, they've gotten to the point of getting past being triggered. They have learned and honed in their skill as to being more stoic. You can check out their podcast, Fresh and Fit podcast. Shout out to them. They're doing great work over there. A lot of people are not liking it. A lot of people are triggered, and they are so triggered to the point where they want to cancel them. But I'm all about free speech. You don't need to like what I'm saying, but you need to respect the fact that I have the freedom to say what I need to say. Because we live in a clown world, like Myron always says, we live in a clown world where a lot of people will do and say stupid things and want to convince you that their reality is the reality. This whole my reality, your truth and my truth. No, there's empirical data that tells us when it comes to what the type of behaviors are, what are the stats saying when it comes to what people would in a general sense would do. And these are the things that we need to look at. Rolo Tomasi on the Rational Male channel, he clearly states, and it's so clear when it comes to that, the RP is not an ideology, it is a praxeology, where it is the study of human action and conduct. That is RP in a nutshell, because at the end of the day, it is not about your opinion, what you think it's about. What are we hardwired to do? What are we going to do? What the stats are saying. And at the end of the day, it is not looking good, and men are starting to win because they are wising up. So from this video, I want to take this lesson that we're going to, when you are encountering battles and you're encountering hardship where you need to work through this thing and you need to fight through this thing, whether it's physically, but mostly when it is emotionally and when it is mentally, you need to get to a point where you can, at the end of the day, stand and be the guy that is looking over your opponent and saying and standing there and basically showing him that you are undefeated. Why? Because you keep on getting up, you keep on coming back for more hits, and every time you get those hits, every time you come back into the fight, you learn how to duck, how to bob, how to weave, how to jab, and you learn how to be much more better at the way you conduct yourself to get the best when it comes to whoever you are debating with. And sometimes you do get to a point where you find out that to a certain point, if discussion is not being based on logic, you're gonna get to a point where people want to stick to and go to emotion, and that is where you get this point of diminishing returns, like Rolo say. And shout out again to the Rational Male, that you get to a point that you argue with someone and you debate with them, but the debate is supposed to be a debate and not an argument, because you're debating the point and there's back and forth on what the topic and discussion is. But people will get their ego invested. They will not want to let off because they've been standing on that position for so long, or all their life. Now it's been challenged with empirical data, and they are now put in this uncomfortable place by having to accept that data, or I'm going to follow the fairy tale, the Disney fairy tale of the hope strategy. And shout out again to the coach Greg Adams, the hope strategy. If you found a good woman, you can work with her, but then great. But in these streets, in this modern age, you need to understand what you are up against, and you need to make sure that you are strategizing and approaching things from an abundance mindset. Go check out my other videos. I've got a few of them on this channel where you can check out how to maintain abundance mindset, how to stop playing the victim, how to stop taking part in the victim Olympics, and how you can better basically get better at getting the results that you want. You stop bitch, you stop moan. You're just gonna get through this, work through it, get through these fights, get through these battles, come out the other end, learning a lesson. You may have failed, you come back, you try again, and you're gonna get successful. Why? Because you're just going to be getting 1 inch, 1 step. You're gonna get closer to your goal. Why? Because you're putting in that work, you're putting in that growth, and you are so dedicated. Why? Because you're not gonna give up. So I commend these guys. I commend Fresh and Fit for growing in the way that they have done, because I can see how they started Jan 2021 and how the channel has grown, how the message has grown. I can see the super chats. A lot of the guys that is giving honest feedback and giving honest kind of reports as to how their lives has been bettered and how they have been. I'm gonna go back again to what Rolo also says, that some guys have these guys and a lot of the manosphere and channels that's within the manosphere that is there to uplift others, not to create hit pieces, but to uplift men and put out that message out there so that men can make informed decisions about the important life decisions that they need to make, and also have a pool of resources that they can tap into to be able to get the best results and get and understand, kind of like I said, what's the best strategy, formulate the best strategy to go at it. I commend these guys for opening that discussion. A lot of guys is tapping into it, and a lot of guys are benefiting off it. And I just want to, for me, I'm happy that there's things like this, because you always have channels that is dedicated to women, and the discussion is always to the woman's imperative. But since the space has grown, more men is finding a voice, more men is starting to find a pair of kahunas between their legs, and they are growing a pair, and they are starting to live the lives that they're supposed to, and saying no to things in society that we as men need to say no to. So it is what it is. Get in those battles. Don't be scared of it. Get in there. Go get some licks in, and learn from those battles. Grow, and that's how we're going to get to the next level here when it comes to the manosphere paradigm. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you enjoyed the content, the new look, the type of feel that I'm going to create. And I'm definitely going to be coming back again, creating some live streams so that I can discuss some other topics in depth and follow current events and create a show that you guys can enjoy. So yeah, I'll see you in the next vid. And manosphere paradigm, health, wealth, relationships, and hobbies. Battle tested men. I'm out.